Hello, this is Reverend Joseph Andrew Jensen. The last video I made, I was telling Elon Musk, main tekel partisan. I told him what was expected of him by God. Main tekel partisan means you've been measured in the balances, and you came up short, and you're going to lose your kingdom. Elon Musk, and that he is. He's never going to lose his kingdom. He's not going to lose his thing, but he's going to be put into his place. God's putting him in place. He's going to put the world in place. I just got off the phone with a woman in the congressman's office in Florence, South Carolina, District, South Carolina. She assured me that I am in a scam. I said I kind of knew I was, but it's also accountability. That I'm a pastor. I've made, over 70 videos, and it's about accountability. This goes for Christians too. Christians, Jews, and Islam and Muslims. I found less. I am also a minister. Wasir. I'm a wasir. Wasir means I am a executive. I'm the owner, sole proprietor of God's Living Ministry. The only one that's above me right now is God in my ministry. And it's going to be that way. Why? Because I'm not a church. I'm against all churches. I'm against all religions. Why? Because you have no idea who God is. You're not being accountable to God. You look for other people. You even say that the Bible is God's word. It's not God's word at all. It's written by man. All three books, the Torah, the Quran, the Bible, were written by man. One of the things the Jews wrote. Well, first off, they wrote this, but they said they were the ones that received the 10 Commandments. It said, "Thou shalt not kill." What part of that didn't we understand when they're committing genocide today? All of these religions have justified killing in the name of God. Then they claim God was ordered the things with Abraham, which is furthest from the truth. Abraham wanted to kill Isaac so that Ishmael could have his inheritance as his eldest son before he died at 114 years old. Remember, Isaac was conceived when he was almost 100 years old. He was born when Abraham was 100 years old. Sarah was 77. And what's going on is that Hagar was banished from Abraham's house with her son Ishmael because of Sarah. She said that Isaac will inherit everything. Actually, that's what the angel told him as well. The angel that spoke to Sarah and told her she was going to have a child, and she laughed at, he said the reason that Ishmael was going to be as a wild man, his hand against everyone and everyone's hand against him. That's why God couldn't make a covenant with Abraham. He was a wild man. Do we know this today to be true? Over 1/3 of this earth the women have to wear robes all the time. Hijabs over their head. Cover their eyes, their feet. ankles, everything. Because in Sharia law, a woman can be guilty of her own rape by enticing a man. Now, it used to be that a woman was fair game and she was hunted to rape every woman. And really, they didn't have an age limit. Not too old and not too young. They were that kind of people. It was that way in the days of the Sumerians, days of Enoch. That's where it came from. The Sumerians, on the other hand, they were Horites. And from Shem, which means that they were inbreds. They were off limits to everybody else. There was an agreement made between the angels and the rapists. Stay away from our people, we stay away from yours. So they inbred. But every girl that was in that thing was fair game also. Every daughter born in the Sumerian religion was subject to getting pregnant. It didn't matter what age, These people are obnoxious, to put it the least. The ones that rape. Now today it's not so much a deal of rape. It still is in places a problem, but not so much. Now it's because a tradition. A woman doesn't dare go out of dress because that's the custom. They live in fear of either breaking tradition or being raped. That's hell. A man only recently was able to walk with his wife side by side. It's only within the last 20 years that this was being able to do this. A woman had to walk behind. She had to stay in her place. She couldn't attend the mosque in the same place as the mosque. She couldn't attend. Some of them in Saudi Arabia, most of them could not go to school at all. It was forbidden for a woman to be educated. It was forbidden for a woman to drive. Not much has changed, but you know what's changed? Why God came to me in 2019? Because of what I'm holding in my hand and what I'm making this video by phone. We didn't have the communication to get a message all the way across the world in split seconds to get everybody united. Now things are just going to stop. God coming to me in 2019. And we got tired of talking. God's tired of talking. Now it's time for action. Just like he's doing with Elon Musk. He said, Elon, you're going to be held accountable. Even though these people used your name, you made yourself vulnerable to all these clips. Everything that you ever done, you made yourself so vulnerable. And they used your name, and they used your pictures, and they used your videos. And they manipulated you, and they promised people cars, money, fortune, homes, all kinds of things. Whether it's, like I said, in the hundreds, whether it's in the thousands, millions, I don't know. Ultimately, Elon is responsible. He should make good to all his victims. Now, he's also needs to be held accountable by the world because he's changed this world. I'm not going to say take anything from him. I'm going to give you, God's going to give him back, but he's got to trust God. But it's not going to be the same conditions as he had before because God's a little bit fed up in the timing. He was told, Elon Musk, to take his $240 billion and divide it up to 9 billion people in this whole world and tell them to open up God's Coins accounts. Open up the God's Coins accounts. And God, 240 billion is enough to put $131 in everybody's account in the whole world. That's every newborn to the oldest person and everybody in between. To give $131 doesn't sound like much. But when I multiply that in God's coin, it's not dollars anymore. I'm multiplying that times $75,000. So 131. Every dollar is worth $75,000. So now you got $131 times 75,000. Now everybody's got enough to do something. Because the United States dollar is going to be worth $75,000. I had dropped it down. It would be just a little bit above 60,000 now. I'm dropping down since November the 16th. But God's going to put it back up to 75,000. $75,000. If Elon Musk was to take his money. In turn, God will give him, multiply his dollars. Multiply his dollars by giving him a God's coin per dollar. So that's just basically they're worth $75,000 a piece. $75,000. So what I'm saying is he'll end up with 9e to the 19th. That's 19 zeros. That's called a dectillion. Yeah, I think it's DEC. TILLINO. Dectillion. Okay. He'll have that much money. 19 zeros past the 9. But it's only everybody's God's coin is only he'll have that in God's coin. So you multiply that times 75,000, you'll actually end up with 19e. 38e. 38e. It's but this money is good for 20 years. You have 20 years to use it or lose it. Invest it, spend it, use it. Get ready. You can give it to a newborn and they still have 20 years to use it. The money's untransferable because it's in shares. It's not currency. It's in shares. And the shares disappear in 20 years. God's Living Ministry gets a duplicate. When you receive a God's coin, it's dated. Dated for that day you issued. If you get 5,000, those 5,000 are dated. A duplicate of those 5,000 goes to God's Living Ministry. What's that mean? Why? Because suppose you ask for an immediate refund. That goes and till you spend it. Even when you spend it, I still have my share. I can't spend, but I'm going to also be paying the wages of everybody in this world. I'll give one God's coin per month to everybody in this world that opens a God's coin account that is 18 years old, working, 18 to 40. And they'll have the ability, because they have a phone with facial recognition, voice recognition, fingerprint identification, and grip hand geometry, that they will be registered to vote by phone from home. They'll be able to get one God's coin per month. That's $990,000 a year. At 70, if it's worth $75,000, it could be worth more. It'll never be worth less. But this world will be weaned off the primary backing of the government's dollar, the yuan, the yen, the pound, whatever currency you have. It'll start in the small countries. The whole world will be highlighted in red. But every country that God starts with, Burundi, North Korea, even South Korea, will be highlighted green. Burundi will be the first country, 12 million people. They will go from red to green, and you'll see that. And that's 12 million people that will have joined God's living ministry and getting God's coin, and their voters. One church just grew 12 billion off of one country. Then it goes to North Korea. North Korea is 26 billion. Same thing happens there. Same thing happens in South Korea, which is 52, double that of North Korea. But they're almost as poor. I'm going to leave it at this.